Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is SE04.
Aisha Arizona.
My name is Tariba Akilisi. Yes, I read the Quran.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, sometimes I do. I like to read the Arabic first because I feel like it's really calming. I like the reading and all of that. And I also like to read the English translation afterwards so that I can, get the feel of what it's trying to tell me.
I read the Quran in English and Arabic. The English to know the meaning of what I'm reading in Arabic.
Yes, Arabic and then English. You can translate it over the world.
Yes, like there are times when the bad times, like Allah has promised us that we'll have the great times and the not so great times. So, usually, I don't know, it's like you're drawn to the Quran or something when you're not having like a great time, in life, and you just somehow find the exact verse that will calm you and remind you that your situation is temporary or that you'll be rewarded for everything that you go through and or when you persevere and remain steadfast. So yes, it does happen to me.
A lot of times you see new things that you haven't come across before. So yes, a lot of things have been revealed to me on different occasions.
Yes, when I had exams, my UTME, so I was really nervous about the exam. And then I went to Surah Al-Nasr and Surah Al-Duha. When Allah said, Muhammad wasn't frustrating. He was like, and I won't frustrate you. So I kept it in my mind that okay, fine, Allah won't frustrate me. And then in Surah Al-Nasr, when the help and victory of Allah comes, so I felt so much to it. It is fine that Allah is going to help me and then victory is going to come to me. So I was optimistic basically, and I went to the exam, and I came out with something like So, the Quran is a really wonderful book. And then, nowadays we hear different things in science that, okay, the Big Bang Theory and all. But then, we Muslims realize that these things were actually in the Quran, they are reading the Quran 1400 years ago. So these things are not new to the Muslims, even though the world is just discovering most of these things. So I think we Muslims are privileged we are lucky to have the Quran because it has been a truth and it is still a truth to us.
Yes, where he was, because in the olden days a lot of people had a problem with the fact that he just came, like Prophet Muhammad just came up with Quran and he said that he was prophet of God and everything. So the fact that he was unlettered, like when I read it and then he was unlettered, it's like an eye opener to show you that he is not actually lying. How can someone just come out from nowhere and then just start saying that it's the prophet of God, because people have cooked it up, but you can't even write, you can't read. So, like, wow, this must be really true.
Well, it's definitely a proof, and all you really need to do is read it. It might not be as easy as I am saying, but when you do pick it up, you contemplate on what you are reading and reciting. Sometimes even without reading the English translation or whatever language you are comfortable with, you realize that it's opening doors in your heart, and it's not from this earth, like it's outwardly. It has to be from God. And that when you are actually reading the translation in the language you're comfortable with, there is guidance for you, and Allah has already promised that there is guidance in this book. So, we should just read it, really. And listen to scholars who, I think that's one of my favorite things, listening to one or two scholars when they are giving their tafsir and explaining what happened that this verse or surah was revealed is very enlightening for me.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulil Kareem amma ba'd. My name is Masood Balogun, and I will be talking to us briefly about the Quran as a proof. The Quran is, as we all know, is the last revelation of Almighty Allah. Allah sent different prophets with different books, and the last of them was Prophet Muhammad, and he sent him with the Quran. The Quran is a powerful book. It was revealed during the month of Ramadan. The Quran has a lot of miracles and wonders. The fact of the revelation of the Quran itself is a wonder. The fact that it was revealed through an unlettered man. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala challenged the doubters of the revelation that they should come with even a verse that is similar to the Quran, and nobody has been able to meet up with that challenge. The Quran is a spiritual book, so it contains a lot of messages, a lot of spirituality, and a lot of antidote for different things. People use it for different things. So, for example, people that found themselves in difficulties, they resort to Quran. People that require motivation, they resort to the Quran. People that want illness from ailments, or they want freedom from tribulation in this world or in the hereafter, or they want motivation, whether spiritual motivation or worldly motivation, they all resort to the Quran. And the fact that the Quran has been preserved throughout the ages, it is a 1,400 years old book, and it was compiled at a time where we didn't have technology, and the means of preserving books was very limited at that time. So the fact that it was preserved up till this time itself is a revelation. And one amazing thing that I find about the Quran is that every time you read the Quran, you get different meanings, you get different motivation. So you might read a verse today, and tomorrow you contemplate and ruminate over the same verse, you get different inspiration entirely. There are very few books that provide such kind of inspiration. Again, we do not have any book that has been memorized from end to end by anybody in this world. I'm not aware of anywhere anybody memorized a book back to back. And Quran is the only book that I see that so many people have memorized, and others that have not memorized, they aspire to memorize it because it is something of pride as Muslims. And it is also another book that if you don't practice what is in it, if you don't revise it always, it leaves you. So it just speaks to the uniqueness of the Holy Quran.
Dear Ramadan, as we all know, Ramadan has been a very special month for all the Muslims around the world. Well, my own Ramadan, I think it's the most special because I get to spend with family and friends and loved ones. You know, Ramadan gets you connected with people that are very dearly to you and the people you don't get to meet often all the time. I'm always at home with parents and with loved ones and everybody. Hey, is the thing for you? How do you spend your own Ramadan? Because mine is special than yours.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I'm Jamila and I welcome you to Jamila's Diary. This is a show where food is the order of the day, and I'm always here to ensure that I help you keep your food game on in this holy month of Ramadan. What better way to do this than having amazing ways to enjoy your iftar and suhoor meals? Let's go to the kitchen. Today, I'll be making a potato dish that has some offal and spinach in them. Now, sweet potatoes are readily available in the north. They are widely grown and they are available all through the year. And it's great to have a variety of ways in which to incorporate them in our meals. For my potato dish, I'll be needing some sweet potatoes. These have been cut, washed and boiled. I've got here some red bell peppers, offal which has been cooked also, tomatoes, some spinach, some eggs, some chopped onions, vegetable oil, and of course, my Maggi seasoning cubes. So I'm going to start first by heating up a bit of oil in which I'll stir fry my veggies. Alright, let's get to it. I'm going to add some oil. Sends about basana and then soya chunk. So the next thing I'm going to add are my peppers. Now I'll add my tomatoes. So I'm going to add my Maggi star. Okay, I'll give it a quick stir and then I'll add my offal. Now offals are really great for you too. They contain iron, folate, good for your blood. Kidneys are also a great source of omega-3 fatty acids, which are great fats for you. So I'm going to let this stir fry for a while. So now I'm going to add my sweet potatoes. My tomatoes and pepper have been stir fried. Okay, so this is just what I need. Sweet potatoes are packed full of vitamin D and these are great for your bones. The good thing about sweet potatoes is that it doesn't spike up your blood sugar, so it's just really good for you. So I'm going to whisk my eggs now, and it's about time that I added them. So I'm just going to whisk this really quickly because these are getting cooked already. Okay. So you want to slowly put this in. Let it drizzle down. Spread it evenly so your potatoes are well covered. I want to kind of get like an omelette consistency. So I'll cook this under low heat. Now once you notice the eggs are beginning to cook by the side, it's time for you to add your spinach. So I'm going to do that just about now. Spinach contains really great nutrients, contains iron and folate, and it's great for you, so you don't want to cook them for too long. And it's also rich in fiber. This is a great meal for Ramadan. It's now time to flip it over. Okay. This looks really beautiful. The colors are just popping. When we come back, my meal will be plated. My sweet potato dish with spinach and offal is ready. I'm just going to have a taste of it, see how it goes. It's really great. I really enjoyed sharing this recipe with you. Don't forget to join me on another interesting episode of Jamila's Diary. Remember to follow us on our social media pages at Maggie_Nigeria on Instagram and at Maggie Nigeria on Facebook. Assalamu alaikum.
You're going to give me 5 names of Allah and their meanings. So you give me 3, you give me 2.
Shabak's that one.
I saw that one since Abi. You like Are you sure you don't know?
Yes.
Are you sure?
I'm scared.
You're scared. Don't be scared. Wow. The month of Ramadan is really a glorious month. As you can see that everything around you is testifying to that fact. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am Dr. Hakeem and I welcome you to another interesting, captivating, scintillating episode of Ask the Muslims. We do just one thing, ask simple Islamic questions, and I would advise you to do one thing, stay tuned. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
What's your name?
I'm Salma.
Qasim.
Hamida.
Ahmed Abimbala.
Abdul Halim Busari.
Fakulede Yunus.
My name is
Yusuf Alima.
My name is Ibrahim.
Oyero Koya.
Amida, welcome to Ask the Muslims.
Thank you.
I'll be asking you simple questions, like very simple ones. Are you ready?
Sure.
You're ready?
Sure.
I'm ready.
Yes, sir.
MashaAllah. Let's see.
No. Are you ready?
Bi'awni min Allah.
You're ready. Your answer shows that you're ready. So let's go. The Prophet went on a miraculous journey to the heavens. What did he bring back for us?
Salat. Salat, 5 daily salat.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Very sure.
Yes.
Commandment?
Are you sure? If you're not sure, pass.
I don't know.
You don't know, so you're turning it away.
He came with salat. And he came with...
Just one answer.
It came with salat.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You're sure?
Yes. Absolutely sure.
Okay.
Salah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
He brought salat. Abi, is it not the prophet?
You're asking, not the prophet, my sister. No problem. Prophet, say who's prophet? What did you bring for us? Final answer. Final answer.
Salat.
Salat, final answer.
Yes.
Okay.
He brought salad.
Are you sure?
I'm very sure.
What do you know?
Yes.
5 daily salats.
Are you sure?
I'm very sure.
Very sure?
Very, very sure.
Stop.
The 5 daily prayers.
Okay.
MashaAllah. Well, he brought a lot of glad tidings.
There's one thing that
Yes. He brought a lot of glad tidings, different things, different stories. But a big one that he came with, that Allah wouldn't have sent anybody to come and give him. But Allah needed him to come himself to come and collect it. It's the 5 daily salawat.
Okay. On that same journey, he led a prayer at Masjid al-Aqsa. Who were those that he led in prayer?
The angels
Those the angels?
and past perfect messengers.
Are you sure?
Not very sure.
So final answer.
Yes.
Yeah, the other prophets.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Very sure.
Yeah.
The past prophets before him.
Are you sure?
I'm very sure.
Very sure?
Yes.
Yes.
People that were behind him?
All other prophets too
All other
were with
prophets.
him. So he led
Okay.
the prayer.
The Sahabas.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Very sure.
Yes, sir.
He led his fellow prophets, Prophet Adam, Anu. He led Prophet Musa, Prophet Isa, Prophet Ibrahim, and the likes.
And the likes, I don't say a prophet.
They're also prophets.
I thought the likes was a prophet.
No, the likes like
The remaining ones?
yes,
Oh.
and the Malaika.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But he led them as the Imam.
Don't shake it. That's not the end of the word. Are you sure you don't know?
Yes.
Are you sure?
I'm scared.
You're scared.
Ramadan, Ramadan, Ramadan ya Habib. Ramadan, Ramadan, ليتك دوما